All right, all right. Well, that's another reaction video. This one in particular was recommended to me by what is it by by Albert, which he recommended me to check it out from the slow mo guys. But I'll be honest with you, I think this is the closest one I was able to get. I'm not too sure if there is a version of it of slow mo guys. If there is, I'm try to dig more deep of it. But I did see this one, which this one does look really, really interesting. And let's see what this one is. There is a viewer's discretion warning in the right here, so takes it as you will. And let's see this crazy, crazy incident. Let's go.
If you didn't read that warning, again, let me reiterate, do not watch this video if you are faint of heart. This video does contain some shocking footage. It's potentially triggering to PTSD victims. This is for medical, educational purposes only. We would never glorify this for any reason. This is a pretty unfortunate accident, but we are ready to go over the footage together and see what we can learn from it, talk about safety, talk about our plans
But the preview that I've seen of it, yeah, it is pretty crazy, man. Wear your safety gear, as always.
for the future. And there is a chance that some of this is still going to be censored. We're not sure at the time of recording how much will be censored, but we want to keep our channel. And if we put up too much graphic content, there's a chance the entire channel gets demonetized.
Yeah.
Because of that, if you do see some censored content, that's why the entire unedited, uncensored footage will be available on Patreon if that's the case.
Let's go.
That's pretty much the only way we can do this while still keeping our channel. So our link to Patreon will be in the description below and you can go watch it there. But again, do not watch it if you can't handle this because it is very shocking. He's okay with showing the footage that's here. He wants to watch it. He wants to show you guys so we can learn from it. So Adam is back and thankfully recovering.
I have returned indeed.
Oh, look at him.
You said
see,
one
he
like
looks
and I'll
fine.
come back and here you are.
Yes, I did get at least one.
I won't lie, man. Given it, he's got his arms wrapped up. I'm pretty sure those are some burns, man. Yeah.
Might have been me. I'm not sure.
How would you say you're doing now?
A lot better. Still takes a lot of wound care. I don't think I'm out of the woods on that yet. Probably still got a
I bet, man.
solid few months on that. The nerve stuff, never know. We'll get into that later. But
yeah. People have seen the footage, but it's been blurred. We've done some updates on the hospital and everything, but before we watch it, if you don't know what's going on right now, stop watching this. Our last video has all of the context. We were firing different launchers. We had a Carl Gustav M2 launcher and the RPG-7.
Yep.
And we had a catastrophic failure during launching basically the final shot of the day.
of course.
So yeah, if you don't know what's going on, please go watch our last episode and then return if you feel like you can handle watching what happened.
Yeah.
We were studying the effects of...
Well, yeah, I did see a thumbnail about it. Yeah, it looked like they were testing like backblast and things like that. Yeah, backblast is no joke on on rockets. I have seen clips of like actual combat arms, sort of thing. Soldiers that would yell out before they even used the whatever rocket they were using. Wasn't too sure which one they were using. They would always yell out backblast, and people would try to get out of the way and shoot because there's so much force that shoots behind the rocket.
Of the backblast from RPGs because they are extremely dangerous.
As we saw with the ballistic hand.
Yeah, and then as we were doing it to a head, I remember counting down to 1, and then next thing I knew, I was on the ground and my arms were entirely
Charred.
black. These aren't sleeves,
Yeah.
these are all bandages. They used to be all the way up, but this one's healing pretty good.
Yeah, imagine all the jelly that he had to put like on his arms and all that. Oh, buddy.
The rocket launcher basically exploded.
I've unfortunately seen this footage several times. I had to save all the footage and,
yeah, of course.
Edit it and prepare all these clips for you, but you've seen nothing other than your memories of like the aftermath.
And then the same censored one that is in the previous episode. Yep.
Correct.
I also, for you guys, I haven't seen any of my gear. I've seen the launcher because we got it demilled and sent to us, and I've put it back in the configuration that it was found on the ground. So when we get to the launcher, that's exactly how it was.
All right, so
All right,
I
here we
already know what
go.
to expect with this, and it's already
Yeah, because
making
you've
my
seen it a
heart kind
bunch
of
of times
go.
already.
So I'm mostly curious how this is going to go for you. You've been deployed, you've seen stuff before, but it's going to be different when it's you and you're watching it.
And when we were in Texas, I talked to Scott from Kentucky Ballistics, who went through something very similar, and he kind of warned me of that too.
All right.
So I guess we'll see. What's this going to be first? Like, is this slow mo? Is
I wonder how it is for some of the people who are veterans, and if they see something like this, it's like, does it bring them? Does it bring them back of how it was for them when they were deployed? You know, all the sand, gasoline, maybe even blood and gunpowder and things like that. Um, I wonder how much of that could be possibly triggering, you know, of PTSD from maybe when some of them when they were deployed out in you know, various of places over the years. You know, it's crazy, man.
this normal speed?
This is the normal footage from the red camera, which is our main
Okay.
normal angle, and you'll hear your countdown as you remember, and it'll happen. And then
Yep.
from there, you know, we can talk about this shot however much you want, however many times you want to see it, and we can move on to high speed. And yeah, so
All right.
we'll just see what we can do as far as what we can learn from this. This is the 3, 2, 1 word.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Here we
Sure
go.
you're ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Oh sh! My God! Oh shit! Oh my God, dude, that thing was there, then it wasn't.
Shit.
And then here comes all the
Oh,
swear
fuck.
words in the response.
Oh shit. What do we do?
Bro, how did he not? Did he lose? No. He had earmuffs and all that. Okay, okay. I was gonna say, how did this man not lose his hearing? He had his earmuffs on. Okay, smart boy, smart boy. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think about that at the moment until I saw like then like him laying on the ground. I'm like, bro, how is his hearing not like what is it disappear, like just gone from that explosion? Oh my God.
What's bleeding?
It's his face.
Call 911.
I'll call it. I'll call it.
I don't know
Look
if
at
you
him,
can
bro.
see there, but like my body was already like tremoring. And
Holy shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can already see. I've got skin grafts right there.
Yeah. You can see the burn on his arms.
Wow. Yeah, that rocked my shit.
you want me to pull it back?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get into some of
You know, the crazy thing is that, I'm sorry for pausing so much. The crazy thing is that people do not understand how fast, just bam, like that, just bam, how quickly your skin can melt. People do not understand, and in high intense heat, your skin will melt in a second, and it's such high intense heat. So yeah, knowing that his arm was black, and you see how quick that was, just bam, like that. Oh my
this
God.
in the high speed, but I mean, you're inside an explosion
Yeah.
for an instant, and it
Yeah.
throws you.
There isn't a second of that I could see on that first one where there was no attempt to catch myself. I'm instantaneously
Oh, you're
out.
yeah.
Like,
You're done. Like you are immediately unconscious, as far as I can tell.
Sorry.
that was nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy,
You
man.
want to see it again?
Yep.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh
Dude, I
shit!
can't even see my helmet leave frame.
I know.
Shit.
Call 911.
Oh fuck. Oh shit. What do we do?
What's bleeding?
It's his
Another
face.
thing I want to point out while I'm thinking about it. So when people experience trauma, in terms like blunt force trauma, it's not uncommon for your body to seize up in whatever
Oh yeah,
position
yeah,
it was in.
100%, man. I've seen people get knocked out and shit, and yeah, you're. If you've seen footage of people get knocked out, you know, from whatever reason, you know, them getting punched or whatever, it's not. Yeah, it's not uncommon if with their bodies just go stiff as a board. You know, that's why sometimes when you see people get knocked out, they just kind of look stupid, you know, going down. But it's incredibly common for the body to flop like that, you know, to stiffen up.
Something that happened to you, you can see it right here. Like your right hand that was grasping that front handle there, clamped up in that way. So when you're laying there, keep in mind this camera was way off further left than we were. So it
Okay.
can see your fingers there. We couldn't. So one of the things what we saw was your burnt arm and then nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So there was all sorts of things of like,
Yeah,
did
they
this
thought his
happen, did
hand
that
was
happen
gone.
kind
I
of
would, I
thing.
would
3,
suspect that too.
2, 1. Shit.
That's when you start gaining consciousness
fuck.
again. So I would say
Oh, shit,
probably
what do we
10,
do?
15 seconds you were
It's
unconscious.
his face.
Do you have recollection of that at all? Of like,
No.
Oh, probably
yeah,
not.
okay.
No,
Nope.
dude.
because the first thing I saw when like my eyes met your face was your jaw definitely got like shoved somewhere it's not supposed to be. The lower part of this part of your jaw had like moved out and it was pushing your skin out some, and the bottom part of your jaw, what's that bone there? Is that the mandible?
I think so.
Okay, that the whole bottom part of
dang.
your face was a bit sideways. And then seeing all the burns and thinking for a second maybe you lost your hand, and the smoke and just like the shock setting in, it was like, what actually happened here?
I mean, the launcher looks like it left too.
Oh, it went.
It absolutely disappeared. But yeah, man. I mean, look how close this is. From right here. Even though the payload is probably more like right here, but still, this is so close to his hand, or both hands actually. It's so close to your hand, so it's understandable why he would think that, because it exploded probably probably like 8 inches away from his hand. So yeah, like you heard firecrackers. Like, what is it? People will have missing fingers, from being stupid enough to hold firecrackers and things like that. But a whole ass RPG that is meant to put that have the capabilities, depending on exactly what it's hitting, you can possibly level a building. I mean, depends, but can literally, um what is it, could literally put a hole in a wall, and that just explodes in your hands. It's crazy. Of course, I'll be like, oh shit, his arms are gone. I would think that too. I'll be like, bro, his hands are gone.
It went up
That's
in the
not
air.
where I was. I was, yeah.
Yeah, it launched.
Dude, literally half of his gear on his face, like on his head and shoulders and everything, disappeared. It all got launched off.
What was that?
We're calling 911.
For what?
We're calling 911.
For what?
Dude, he has.
You're bleeding.
From where?
You're bleeding from inside
He's
your
doing
head.
the right thing there, holding me down.
Yep. Do you have memory
Yeah.
of this?
I don't think
No,
yet.
He's probably so discombobulated. No, he's probably not.
Well,
No.
you just turned off your own mic there accidentally, and then it
Okay.
comes back on later. But what's interesting here is your brain knows something's wrong, obviously.
Right.
And I think the first thing that kicks in for you with your medical training is figure out what's wrong and help. And it's weird because you're the person that needs the help.
Right.
So you're asking like, what happened? And then when Todd says we're calling 911, you're asking like, what for? Like, why? So I don't know if that's like your brain's shock and confusion, or if your brain is still trying to figure out like, who do we need to help? Like, what's going on? Like,
Dude,
do you remember?
That's that's funny to think about, because just imagine this man's hands could literally be missing, and he'll be the one trying to help out everybody else. He'll be like, "Don't worry about me. My hands are gone, but I can still help."
Asking those questions.
No.
That's good on him.
Nope.
Speaks a lot on his character.
What is all that smoke from?
Fire extinguisher.
Oh,
The backblast set off a small fire behind you.
Okay.
We're here. Help is on the way.
Did I just
Yeah,
ask if it
bro.
blew
Holy
up?
shit.
Is that what you asked?
I think so.
What happened? It blew up?
But I said it all jacked up because my jaw was crooked.
Is it weird seeing yourself like?
It's very
It's
weird.
like it's a memory that doesn't exist for you, but it's you.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember any of this.
Okay. Because you're about to see one of the first memories that you've told me about, which is talking about the medical bag. and
Yeah.
What to get out of it. That's coming up soon. So that's probably, let's see, it's been over 2 minutes since it happened.
Oh,
So
wow.
that much of your memories, at least right
Dang.
now, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In my
So
truck.
First aid is in this truck. We have
Okay.
first aid.
Is that where your memory comes back? No?
Inside
the
the
trauma's gonna be on his right side, right here. Where my
inside
hand
the
was.
big
That's where the
bucket.
blast was.
There's a wall.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Yep.
So your memory took 3.5 minutes to come back.
Good grief.
yeah.
Oh. You
That
can't
actually, I'll be honest with you, that's actually pretty impressive. 3 minutes for his memory to come back, man. There's people that be discombobulated for like more than 5 or so minutes. there's some people that don't even regain, you know, what happened until like more than 10 or so minutes later. But yeah, I mean, clearly the you know, actually no, that's not true. The blast did affect him, but clearly you know, his you know, his memory is strong because, you know, to even remember that, to be like, oh, there's a wash, you know, there's a wash in the you know, in the truck and things like that. Yeah, that means that he's got good brains on on those shoulders.
Yeah, I'm digging. Okay. Because I remember digging in the bag.
Just off
It's just
camera.
off camera. Okay.
Yeah. This has to be surreal for you because you never saw at least your face from an outside perspective
No.
until you were like in the hospital.
In the trauma bay, yeah.
But for a while there, that laceration in your face was bleeding so much it was down on your neck. And I think that was confusing some people. They thought your neck was bleeding. So they were applying pressure there first until it was more obvious it was coming from your cheek.
Gotcha.
I don't have any medical allergies.
Okay.
Oh, dude.
Any heart things they need to know about?
Nope, no
Okay.
heart conditions or medical
Dang. Oh
allergies.
my
I'm
God.
probably dehydrated.
Okay. They're probably going to give you saline immediately.
I saw that smoke coming out from his body. Oh shit! No, that has to be from the extinguisher, right? Oh my God, that's how bad that flame charred him. Like, you see what I was talking about? Like, even though that flame was just was it, it wasn't it technically, it to me. I mean, maybe when it slowed down a lot, but like you can see like how slow, like how quick that flame was there, then it wasn't, like on a naked eye, you know, it's just like that. But you see how bad it
Is
burned
my
him.
right arm burned?
My right arm burned.
Okay, is there more of
Yeah,
that in
it
the big
is, man.
ones? So this is when we start smearing all the stuff all over you, applying these pads. And
About this time was,
bro.
I think my brain kind of went, okay, like someone else is doing the things that I was wanting to get done, and then I don't remember
Kinda
much
drifted
after that.
off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they gotta put that shit
But
on
you
him.
said I stayed up and talked, and
yeah. So about this is when I thought I should probably turn off the cameras because it didn't feel like the right thing to do. And then later I went and turned the camera back on because I'm like, this should probably be documented.
okay.
But was it on high speed?
Yeah, honestly, I would document it mainly because of like maybe for medical maybe for medical reasons, you know, maybe I don't know, maybe maybe the doctors can review the footage and think, oh, what you know what can happen and things like that, or I don't know, maybe for insurance reasons.
Don't even know or care.
Probably, I don't know.
There is a little bit more of later on. This is you being treated.
Oh, okay. So we got like actual, looks
Yeah.
like law enforcement showed up first, and then
Do you remember this? Sitting there and talking to officers?
nope. After
Dang,
the like kind
you
of
still
first aid stuff, I don't remember anything until the helicopter.
Okay. So yeah, they kind of just look you over until the helicopter gets there, make sure you're covered up, and
Dang, man.
this shot
he's
isn't
still
not-
he's
this
still
isn't as slow as we
discombobulated and
normally
shit.
do. For this, we had the flex camera, 3,000 frames a second to see
It's
everything.
it's crazy because it's like he's there, but he isn't. You know, like a part of him is still functioning like normal, kind of like remembering, not remembering, but like kind of like maybe just memorizing, like maybe things he has like hard coded like into his brain, you know, to fully memorizing things, especially the things with the truck. But the other side of him is like he's just like he's not there. That's why he can't remember, because there's just so much trauma just instantly just happened that he's just out of it. That's crazy, man. Yeah, trauma's crazy, man. When things like that happen.
and the 2512
Sheesh.
is like close in on like this area.
Okay.
So this isn't going to give us like hyper detail, but it's still we're going to see something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go, like that.
Yep. It's like a war movie shot. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things you can't fake, basically. It's
Michael Bay eats your heart out. Yeah, look, there's the plate.
yeah. Let me wind that back.
Holy shit. So, it started normal.
Bro, I'll be honest with you. I think if he didn't I don't know, man. Dude, he is engulfed in flames. Like, do you see how quickly you see how quickly like it charred his arm and everything? Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, rocket's moving. We can see some propulsion coming. So it didn't.
Oh, okay. That's what got him. You see, it was
I mean, rocket's moving.
right.
We can see some propulsion coming. So
here, right there. Let me see if I go back a frame. Right there, right here. This is what burned his arm right here. When this seal broke, damn dude, this is being held together by fucking clamps that you normally see like on a car or like on a like I forgot what they call these, but man, these are normally clamps you would have seen on a car. But man, look at that. This is what charred his arm right here. This is what burned his arm. Damn.
it didn't instantaneously malfunction. Oh my god!
This is the first glimpse of it going off.
Yeah, look, it's like bulging.
Yeah, you see, you can see why they say, that soldiers. If you see footage of soldiers, they'll yell backblast. Now you see why, because of this. And look, and that's the thing. Not all the force is coming out from the back. It's coming. It's exploding from everywhere else. On the on the rocket because of the malfunction.
And look at all that fight. Like, I don't have a beard now, but they shaved that off.
Yeah, they did.
No,
I lost almost no hair.
You had basically your full facial hair intact, and I was very surprised because, like,
in
look,
the hell?
like you're in
God,
flames for a
dude.
while. If you saw this footage and didn't have any context, would you not have thought like that would kill a person?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's no
Yeah.
wonder all the doctors told me they'd.
Bro, if he didn't have that body armor, I think he would be in much more higher critical condition.
Thought I should be dead.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's worth saying, like, your helmet got blown off of you.
Yeah.
Your eye protection got blown off of you. Your plate carrier vest unfolded. Your plate flew out. Your bracelet got thrown off.
Never did find that. So the helmet, you can see I don't have it strapped. I didn't like buckle my chin strap, but that one has a headband retention. It tightens like a hard hat.
Okay.
So I mean, it was tensioned to my head. It wasn't just like plopped on there with nothing holding it on. It was tensioned.
Okay.
Oh man, that launcher went high.
Yeah. And it's like actively flaming out of the failure point.
And then just absolutely
you can-
ragdoll.
Yeah,
you can
look
tell
at that,
you're
bro.
unconscious
Oh my
because
Lord.
you're not grimacing. Like,
Yeah,
you're just
no,
you're
that's-
just falling.
Oh, yeah, and I think those are pieces of the wood. Wow,
So about 2 to 3 milliseconds.
it's such
you
a
were
sight
engulfed
to
in,
see.
like,
It's
raw
horrific,
explosive flames,
but it's such a sight
which
to
isn't
see.
a long time in terms of footage, but that's all it takes.
But if you think of the injury list that I listed, TBI, a traumatic brain injury, a temporal skull fracture causing a brain bleed, cheekbone was broken in 2 places, my jaw may have been like dislocated or misaligned, a laceration to my cheek.
That's about
Anywhere
right.
from 10 to 15% of my upper extremities were 3rd-degree burns requiring skin grafts, small fragmentations throughout.
It all happened in 2 to 3 milliseconds.
milliseconds.
Damn.
I mean, you can even see the first frame that you start to get hit, like it contacting your shoulder and wrapping around your hand. Like this right here is the last millisecond of you unharmed.
Right.
And then the next millisecond, you're already being harmed right there.
That's nuts.
Like even here, your body doesn't know what's happened yet.
Nope.
Nobody knows.
No, it is such a quick split second that you just like. I'm pretty sure when they saw this in the distance, they just saw explosion. That's it. That's all they saw. They didn't see the fire or anything like that because that's how quick that flame was. Yeah, that's.
Knows it's happened yet, even if they were watching it with
Damn.
their eyes. So the big question is, what caused this? And I think the main things that we can rule out that people wondered about was A, did the ballistic head prevent it from venting quickly enough to cause it? So if we go back to the first high-speed angle here, by the time
This is not in
the
my field,
blast
so I have no
is
idea.
hitting the dummy in the head, it's already exploding.
Right.
So it's just now touching the dummy, and the entire rest of the launcher is already
It's already
exploding.
gone.
So we can at least rule that out. The other thing is,
Some people had talked about the smoke around the trigger
should probably
pack.
cover that. Yeah, in order to reactivate it, you have to basically drill or mill out that previously welded in rod, put your own firing pin in, and kind of weld that in place. So
New trigger pack.
there's always a chance that it's not perfectly sealed and you'll get a little bit of smoke venting out. So in no way does that contribute to the failure. There are sometimes places that smoke will vent out.
The rocket's moving, so that wasn't like jammed in there.
Right, no, it wasn't jammed at all. Kind of proper procedure for these launchers is that you should clean them pretty often. So RPGs that'll fail out in the field are ones that have been fired so many times they get gunked up on the inside. There's metal fatigue that happens over time.
Okay, yeah, I've seen footage of those. Okay, that would make
So
sense.
that's
Yeah.
a normal thing that can happen, but it wasn't the case here. I think we cleaned it with both like actual solvent cleaners and the cleaning rod every 3 shots. So it's worth mentioning a little bit more specifically about how RPG launchers are reactivated by different companies. In our case, they went in.
I mean, who even knows, man? It could have just malfunctioned. You know, it could have just be one of those like freak accidents where it's just malfunctioned. You know, like you could shoot like 100 of these, doesn't mean that the next one you shoot is gonna be the one that's gonna explode. You know, on from the shoulder. You know, it's it's a risk that you take when using things like this.
And did the re-weld. Then they also pressure test it and x-ray the welds to, check that they are good, high quality welds. And then the inside of the tube is then re-sleeved with basically another metal tube inside of it.
Is that wood
So
or hard
basically
plastic?
this
No, it looks
launcher
like
is
hard
about
plastic.
as good as it gets when it comes to reactivated launchers. However, a weld is still a weld, and that means that around the weld is a little bit more brittle than an actual completely new tube. So there's a very small inherent risk in working with welds. So even after pressure testing it, x-raying the welds, re-sleeve.
This is true. When this is very, very true. It is best to have anything that's metal to be in full contact instead of it being welded on, because that weld will always be considered, and not considered, but it'll always be a weak point, or a weak joint, to the structure of whatever that you're putting on. So that's the reason why some people just go crazy on the welds and things like that. So it'll be fine. But yeah, for something like this, yeah, that's something to really take in consideration because you know, this is something that could potentially happen, and if it even happened from a weak weld or just or something, or if it was just too much pressure for the weld to even handle, then kind of exploded, burst it out in that way. Yeah,
Leaving it, there are still things that can go wrong.
yeah.
It might be worth talking about the
that's
booster
true.
itself a little bit more. So basically, all boosters, depending on the length, the size, they're always separated by sequential charges. I think it's usually separated by wood or cardboard. The firing pin comes in through here and it initiates the first part of the blast. So it's by sequentially, sort of like a firework, sequentially moving through these different stages of the booster, that's what allows it to launch.
Okay.
And so
Build pressure in this chamber while it goes down the...
yeah, so it's moving itself while it's moving through fuel, essentially. So in our case, a normal black powder booster might have 6 sequential charges in it that allows it to launch. There are longer ones that might have 8 charges or 12 charges. Basically, however much mass you need to move or how far you want the rocket to go could dictate how long of a booster you need. In our case, our warheads were CNC machined real metal warheads instead of the thinner stamped or even printed rocket heads. So for the lighter ones, you might only need a short booster. In our case, we had a longer booster. So after examining all of the high-speed footage, after looking over the inside of the launcher, what basically happened here was the beginning part of the booster failed, which cascaded into the rest of the booster.
Oh, okay. So did it like make all of them go off at once, essentially?
Properly reactivated, high-quality launcher should still be able to handle that. However, there is now the chance that if part of the booster detaches from the rocket as it is moving out of the front of the launcher, it can then butt up against and even seal the Venturi part of the
Ooh,
tube.
okay.
And what that means is there was no longer anywhere for a lot of that pressure,
pressure
to go.
tube, yeah.
And it all builds up at once, caused an immense amount of pressure. And the
To
first
explode.
place for that pressure to vent was
that
the
weld.
weld points.
Yep.
And that caused it to vent downward and into Adam's arm, his chest, basically all over his upper body. The weld acted as a release point by it failing. If it had not failed, this could have become like other videos on the internet where the launcher completely grenades. If you look closely at the failure, it's
Damn, if that's really the case. Wait, what do you mean by what does it mean by it grenades? You mean that it was just like exploded? I mean, like it technically did still, but like, does it mean that it would have been worse? It was bad already. You're telling me it could have gone worse? Oh my god.
not the weld itself, which is usually almost a perfect rectangle that's cut into it. It is around the weld where the metal inherently becomes slightly more brittle. And they try to make up for this by re-sleeving it. But when you're dealing with this much pressure in such a short amount of time, and it can no longer vent through the venturi as it's supposed to, that's a lot of pressure.
And I had quite a bit of downtime in the hospital. I Googled around, and if you go to enough websites, I saw some other RPG failures that looked a lot like that. And then, as you can see, somebody, not me, found as many pieces of the...
You weren't crawling around finding this stuff?
Found as much of the furniture as they could.
Some of this got splintered into oblivion, but I mean, it's about how that stuff works. So it's one of those things where high-speed footage gives us a decent glimpse at what happened, but it's only going to be educated guesses. And this is based on all of the footage we've looked at, different people we've talked.
Yeah, I can see why it would be educated guesses, because it's just it's too many. What is it? Variables, you know. So it could be this, it could be that, it could be a combination of this, so it could be a combination of that. So to see which one, you know, what it is 100%, it might probably never gonna have the answer.
To this is our best educated guess, and I feel like that's probably what happened.
I think so.
Do you want to look at your equipment you were wearing?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, his
I already see
gear.
a lot going on here.
Yeah. So this is basically everything that helped protect your life.
Yep.
And just because of how production works sometimes, we already filmed multiple episodes with high explosive rockets beforehand.
Yep.
So it just happened to be that production worked out that way. And you'll see a lot of our safety in those other videos. We didn't even shoot the things off our shoulders. We had them mounted to something with a pull string.
Yeah, neither of us actually fired a high explosive rocket.
Not once. So we were about as safe as possible as you can be while still getting to at least fire a rocket once or twice. And the accident still happened. So I'm hoping this is a good reminder to anybody that works with firearms, explosives, any of this stuff, that no matter how safe you try to be consciously, there's always a risk of something going wrong. And it's not even something you may have overlooked. It's just like when you buy ammunition, there might be a bullet that is loaded a bit too much, or
100%, yeah. Because you shot it. Because here's the thing: you shot 1,000 rounds, and it was all okay. It doesn't mean that the next one that you shoot might be the one that possibly can literally explode your gun. Yeah, I mean, you just never know. I mean, that's the reason why, like, you take the safety precautions. You know, you wear you wear all the safety stuff. But yeah, you just never know.
a firework that had a little bit too much powder in it, or whatever it might be.
In the episode that we released, we talked about using prototype rounds. None of the RPG-7s were prototype rounds. We were discussing the Carl Gustav rounds.
Yes.
And even then, I probably shouldn't have used the term prototype.
Yeah.
They had been tested numerous times already. So those weren't things that we were just bringing out and firing for the first
The only thing they did not have yet was the way the casing vents out the back to make it recoilless. Everything else was proper.
I think there's like a different fuse because there was a little bit of a delay between the two. But so none of the RPG stuff was prototype. That was all very standard.
Especially the boosters. Boosters are like the same boosters you'd use for any test.
Right, yeah.
Todd, who's been in this industry for a long time, he gave us like the best chance at success at this. It was his launcher. nothing about his launcher caused this failure, which I think is important to point out. It's just like a gun. Like, you give it the wrong ammo, it's not the gun's fault.
Right.
We gave it a booster that ended up failing, and
Yep, and I still talk to Todd daily.
Yep.
We're still friends. He has decided to leave the
My
industry.
thing tipped over.
He did a lot of machine gun rentals and then launcher stuff. Being
Info about Todd. I like how that's a chapter.
there, it affects people different ways in seeing things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
You've kind of talked to me about, it's like, it can be difficult. I mean, and so he discussed it with his family, and between himself and his family, they decided to get out of the business.
that isn't guilt. We need to point that out.
Right, yes. Nope, it was just a decision that they made. So you
Yeah.
will notice he closed down all of his social medias and his website
out of
and everything.
guilt.
We had a few
No, I'm just
people point
kidding.
that out to us. We're aware.
Yep.
He told us he was doing it.
That is
For his
his
family,
way
yeah.
of handling what is essentially a bit of mental trauma from this.
Right.
That is his way of handling it. That's a totally personal thing, and we're going to let him do that. That's what he needs to do. We all handle it differently, and that was his method. Yeah, Todd's still a good friend of ours. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
man.
please don't think that him doing that stuff was in any way guilt on his part, because
I mean, it could be whole sorts of things, but maybe he saw this as like, as a wake up call to like maybe try not to get himself hurt, especially for his family and things like that. I mean, who knows?
I mean, it'd be like if I didn't post this video just because that was my way of handling it. That's not guilt. That's just, it's different when you see videos on the internet of accidents and stuff. When it's your friend right in front of you, it's different. So
No more water.
just have some respect, and yeah, just give people space when they need it, I would say.
Yeah.
So as you guys can see, we're back at the range. We have a few high explosive rocket episodes still coming out. Thankfully, we're filmed before the accident.
Yep.
So we still have some content to come.
Okay, what's next? It looks like it's gonna be the other things. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, that's awesome, man. It's good that this guy recovered and such, man. It's just crazy, man. Just seeing, the way how that rocket exploded on his hand. I'm telling you, man. When you see it, when you see that like in real time, it doesn't look like all you saw was just a puff of smoke and this guy on the ground. That's it. That's all you saw. So yeah, with all that slow mode and see how much flame was coming out of the out of the rocket. Yeah, out of the RPG. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Just seeing how much flames were venting out and like blowing into his arm. Yeah, I'm not surprised that his arm was pretty much cooked. Literally. But yeah, man, I'm glad that he made a recovery and all that. Damn, it's crazy, man. It's just you just never know, you just never know. And you know what? I'm glad that he took the safety precautions wearing all that gear, because I'm pretty sure some people get really, really comfortable where they're not wearing gear. The best thing they're wearing is just eyeglasses and earmuffs, which of course which we should wear, of course. But he was all out. He had what is it? He had the helmet, earmuffs, what is it? Safety glasses, plates, vest on, and everything, bro. If I'm pretty sure if he wasn't wearing that vest, I think that would have been a lot more worse on him. He probably would have been more on a critical condition, probably, if he wasn't wearing the plates. If he wasn't wearing his vest and with the plate on, because that shit flew off. But man, I'm glad he's okay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Um, hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe and leave a like. And what is it? And help me. What is it? Help me get the 200 subscribers before the end of January. Thank you. All right. Peace out. What is it? Check out Ballistic High Speed. And you guys have a good one. Peace. Oh, God, this cough's been killing me.